Hello Gillian, hello Gary. Just a short demo video to on how to use the systems on the Accordo 105. Just do a quick overview of the outside. If we look to the passenger side door, that's the diesel fill cap. Open the door to the left hand side there. That's to get into the engine compartment. Underneath the passenger seat here is the jack. There is a spare wheel underslung underneath the vehicle at the rear. Moving back along, first compartment is the leisure battery and hookup point. When you put your cable in, you can close the door. Make sure the cable is located in this little groove here before you close the door. You'll break it. There's no maintenance required that battery at all. It's either working or it's not. They do wear out. Moving along a little bit further, the security lock for the door, that flips over to lock the door when it's closed. Remember, if that's closed, you can't get out through the habitation door from the inside. You'll have to come out through the cab. Move along a little bit further, barbecue point. So you get yourself a little gas barbecue, you can plug it in there. Gas locker. To turn the gas on, turn the brass valve at the top anti-clockwise. It's opposite to what you think. Always turn the gas off when you're travelling. Moving round to the corner, the water fill, there's a key for that, just opens the same as the lockers. Normal water, that hose pipe in there will fill it. We move down underneath the left hand corner, we'll see a blue valve that drains the water tank when you want to drain it down for winter. Move along again, under the right hand side is the drain for the waste. That's where you drain the grey water that goes into the sinks. Moving around the corner, we have the toilet cassette. We'll come back to that in a moment. Further along, this is just an external cable, if you want a TV cable, if you want to put an external cable from here to wherever you're staying. Some sites have that facility. Moving along, fridge vents, don't need to worry about those. And further to the right, there's the vent for the boiler. Again, nothing to worry about there. Okay, moving inside the motorhome. Now remember, when the vehicle is hooked up, you can use two 30 volts inside. That's for the plug sockets that you'll see around the van. You can use the fridge on 230, but that's only when you're hooked up to the mains. Now if we come back to the control panel, if we turn it on the master switch, that's now activated the 12 volt system. The volts displaying on top there shows you it's charging. Switch the lights, turn that on. Switch for the pump, you'll hear that clicking now. It just pressurizes the system. Further down we've got the awning light, and then we have got a water tester, but they're notoriously inaccurate, so I wouldn't put much credence to the water gauge tester. You've got to gauge how much you put in. I've never seen one of these that work reliably for any length of time. Okay, so let's look now how we heat the water on the motorhome itself. So remember, before we do that, this master switch must be turned on. Okay, move over to the sink. Just left of the sink, we have these two sets of switches. One is controlling the water heater and the other is controlling the space heater, the heat within the motorhome. So if we look at the top switch first, that's the water heater. It can be heated on water or electric or both together. And it's simply a matter of a rocker switch for the electric. The right hand side rocker switch is for electric. One wavy line means 1 kilowatt, two wavy lines mean 2 kilowatts. So you put it on most often not 2 kilowatts, unless you're on a site that has a limit to the ampage, you'd always put it on 2. So if I click that, that's now going to heat the water on electric. Okay, I'll turn it off. This switch to the left, you see a little flame, it's either on or off. Flame switch there, turn that on, that would turn on the gas water heater. There's a little bit of a delay before it comes on, but we'll show what happens. It just purges the system. We'll get a green light in a minute. There's a click. So that now means the flame is lit. Okay, I'll turn that off. So that is the water heater on gas or electric or both together. These switches are light switches. To the space heater itself, first of all, this is the energy source switch, and this is the temperature switch. temperature switch is obvious, it just takes care of itself. Now it can be, again, the heating can be used on 1 kilowatt, 2 kilowatt or 3 kilowatt for the heater. And then if we move it down one, maybe you can just see that there, that's the fan. That would be just the fan with no heating on at all, just blowing air through the vehicle. And then one below it, we just see that, is the gas symbol. And again, it will take about 30 seconds on this to purge through. So now I've put it on, sorry, I turned it to just the fan there. It's on gas now. It'll take a few seconds to kick in. And now you can see the green light is displayed, so that the heater is ignited. And it's as simple as that. We'll turn it off. Now, one very important thing you must remember when you're using the water heating system is to make sure there's water in the hot water tank. And the way to do that is to turn it to the hot setting and turn the tap on. That's the pump kicking in. If you've got a continuous flow of water when the tap is on the hot setting, then you know the tank is full. Okay. If you were to put the heating on, or the water heater on, with no water in the tank, then you'd obviously burn out the element, particularly on the electric. Okay, so that's the only worry you've got. Make sure there's water in the hot water tank before you turn the hot water heating on. Okay, now when the pump is turned on, whenever you turn the tap on, cold or hot, it's going to kick in like that and dispense water if you've got water in the tank. That's the same for the bathroom taps and shower and the toilet. We'll look at the toilet just now. Okay, now first of all, the toilet has got a top or a blade. There's a blade at the side, look. See a grey blade there. As I move that, it's opening and closing access to the cassette below. It might not show very clear on the video. So you can use the toilet with that open or closed, but remember, when you're emptying the cassette, this blade must be closed or it won't pull out. If you find you're trying to take the cassette out and there's some resistance, don't be tempted to pull it. It's because you haven't closed this blade inside. If you pull it too hard, you'll break it. So make sure this is closed inside. Now, the flush, try and do this one hand. Okay, so there's the blue switch. If I press that, as long as I keep my finger pressed on it, it's clearing water out. And I don't worry about that staining that it's because it's not being used for very long. It's all clear. Okay, we'll just do that again. Not unusual to see coloured water come out of the system when it's not been used for a while. It's just residue within the pipes. It's very clear now. Okay. We're now looking underneath the driver's side settee, and if you look down there, you can see a yellow lever. That's the drain lever. In the winter time, when you need to drain the water from the heater to stop frost cracking it, you just pull that lever up and it will throw the water out the bottom of the tank. When you use it again, obviously put the lever back up, and that's when the tank has to be filled again. Don't be alarmed when you fill in the tank when it's been emptied. If it splutters air out the taps, until it clears the air, it will do that. Nothing to worry about. Underneath the passenger side settee, you'll find the consumer unit, and that's the location of all your fuses, and it does actually mention what it's actually protecting on each fuse. And that the top switch is just like your domestic trip switches at home. To rotate the seats, this lever here, just pull that out and then turn the seat. You may have to juggle it backwards and forward on the handle at front that moves the seat forwards and back to clear the bulkhead at the back, or sometimes opening the doors make it easier. Okay, nearly forgot the fridge. The fridge is what we call a three-way fridge, which means it can be run on 230 volts when it's hooked up, gas or battery. It shows a battery, but it doesn't mean it's running off a battery. It means it's running off the alternator of the vehicle, but only when the vehicle is running. So that's when you travel into your destination. You'll have put the fridge on before at home, hook it up, get the fridge nice and cold, and then while you're traveling, flip it to the battery symbol, and that'll keep the temperature there until you get there. It's very simple to use. All you have to do is choose which power source. So there's the electric symbol, so that would work on electric. Battery would be running on the vehicle, as we said. If we put it on the gas, we then go to the might not be able to do this actually. I'm then going to hold the temperature selector down, press that down, and then use the igniter button. I don't know if you can hear that, but that's it's clicking away, and now it's lit the gas part of the fridge. And if we move over to the dial there, you can see it's moving to the green, so that's showing that it has lit on gas. Okay, so it's as simple as that. Now also remember that when you're using the fridge, even on the gas, the master switch must be turned on the control panel. Okay. When the fridge is not in use, there's a little switch just where that light is, and if you look at that little switch there, if you press that and push out, it brings out these two extended clips, which means that when you're not using the fridge and you close the door, it maintains an air gap so that it doesn't create smells. So when you're not using it for prolonged periods of time, use those two clips to push out. So what you would do when you're using the fridge, little tab there, you press it and then press the two little clips in. So now when I close the fridge, it's airtight. Okay.